Alright, let's check out that legendary trio we talked about in the
Hello,
previous
everyone.
episode.
I'm Gabe, and today we'll be meeting our legendary trio.
Oh
but
boy.
First, let's do a recap.
Of course.
In the last episode,
previously on Pokemon Amber,
travels around the Palean region.
we met a lot of
You
cool
met all
Pokemon
of the
professors with a lot of cool
and
Pokemon, of
your
course.
access code to its maximum. You also found a bunch of strange carvings that showed that a legendary created a trio of fairy types.
No prize for guessing which one of these silhouettes is it. I swear, the good legendary is just gonna be Deoxys. It looks like it, doesn't it?
But before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I'll be having my very first live stream on Saturday.
Again, safe to say I missed
at noon
it.
Central Time. That's tomorrow, y'all. So I'll see
Unless
you there
it's
for
February
a
4,
Q&A.
2025,
Right.
in which
You
case,
recall that
I'm
back
early.
on Route 1, inside Plio Cave, and on Route 13, you had found access gates with large 18s on them. Now it's time to
What if I
visit
just
those.
show up with Android
First up,
18
Route
from
1.
Dragon Ball?
On the other
Would that
side,
be acceptable?
you find a peaceful, secluded grotto where you can catch wild Cactamo, Cactolodge, and Ankylotus.
Really?
I mean,
you can just
gotta
find
be able to finish
starters?
that dex if you didn't pick Cactamo early on.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a rather pleasant little
And hey,
area,
you
and
know
after
what?
some exploring,
Finding
you
them
come
in the
across
wild, like as
another
a post-game
legendary
thing,
shard.
I would
You only
100% be
need
okay
two
with
more
freaking
after this
Pokemon
one.
games doing that in the
And
future.
waiting in a clearing is the first.
You can make us
of a
work hard for
legendary
it, but I'd
trio.
like the opportunity, please.
This is also the first
What-
because there
what
is
the what?
decidedly an order to these Pokemon. We'll be calling them the Progress Trio, and they are tied to the rise
All I
and
know is I
fall
saw
of
that picture of the dude, and I'm just like,
So,
excuse me?
Our first form is going to be all about discovery and be loosely based on Prometheus. The other bit of imagery that I wanted to work in
Good
was an
choice.
hourglass. And I found a way to work that right into the little mask-like face pretty easily. The curved lines are subtle enough that it isn't screaming hourglass. And being the first member of our trio and having all of the time ahead of it still, its hourglass is going to have its sand still up at the top. So it gets a cute little forehead marking, little tuft of
I like
hair
this thing's
fire,
design.
and that'll
It's
just be on
cool.
the upper part of the hourglass. I also knew that I wanted this trio to be fairy types for two reasons. One, love the imagery of the Miyazaki like Kodama forest spirits, and I wanted this trio to feel a little bit like that. And secondly, there are still a couple unused fairy pairings that we'll be able to knock out with these designs.
I see.
So, I'm pretty sure you could guess from Prometheus alone, but this will be fairy and fire, which
No
I
duh.
cannot believe we still haven't got yet.
I can.
The color palette is
Fire
pretty
resists
straightforward.
fairy, so
I
why would
already
they
had
go
an
together?
idea of what it was gonna be, but it just so happened that the reference image of Prometheus just
Then
kind of
again, it's
matched
not
it
like Pokemon's
perfectly
never
too.
done types that
And for the
don't
shiny,
correlate
not
working
gonna
together
lie, I
before.
didn't have any cool inspirations. I just wanted them to
I
be
mean, Volcanian's a
punchier
legendary
and
though, so
exciting
that's an
versions of
excuse.
palettes. All right, let's meet the first of the
You get the
Progress
idea.
Trio. This is Promisty, the Discovery Pokemon. Depictions of this curious Pokemon are seen amongst the oldest
Cool.
civilizations. It is often shown presenting fire for the first time. Promisty traveled the world.
Behold,
acting as
I
a
have made
muse to
fire!
early humans. It values discovery and ingenuity above all else, but has returned to the Palean region as it has sensed potential doom for its home and creator. And its ability is adaptability, so that
Well,
increases
give the
its
fire
stab
back and
from
maybe they'll leave you
1.5
alone.
to 2. It's a little cutie, and you go ahead and capture it. For the sake of Pokemon Amber, this would be an instance where if you accidentally knocked it out, you could return and try and catch it again, because as a reminder, you'll need all three of these.
Just
if you
beat
wanna
the
wake
Elite
up the
Four
legendary
again.
that created them. Flying
Better
over
get
to
those
Plio
Master
Cave,
Balls or
you
save
find
right in
another
front of
access
it.
gate and pass through it. After a dark, winding tunnel, you emerge on the east coast of
Actually,
the
I don't think he
island
ever
in
mentioned
another
the Master
tranquil,
Ball. Yeah, probably
secluded
implied.
area. This time, you get the opportunity to catch wild Fleetwee, Ovanish, and Flytor. You explore this area and pick up another legendary shard, just one more to go. And, like last time, you find a legendary waiting in a calm clearing. So, this trio is about the rise and fall of civilization, so what do you have in the middle?
Oh, that's a good
You have
sign.
Stability and order. Our main point of inspiration is going to come from
And if you go,
Themis, the Greek god
I was about to
of
be
law
like, well,
and
they wiped
order.
out the dinosaurs. Then I remember
You
the
may
TV show
recognize her
Dinosaurs,
more
so
often
it's
as
like,
that blind lady with
kind
the
of accurate.
sword
I mean,
and
that was an
scales,
ice age
all
that
the
wiped out the
justice and whatnot.
dinosaurs,
So
but same thing.
she'll
I mean,
be
it
our
still wiped out
jumping off point.
civilization.
Now, we're also going to tweak the
And in the
proportions
Dinosaurs
a bit.
TV
I mean,
show,
Promisty
cavemen
was
exist,
really
so the
just
human
a
race
little
came to
kid,
an end.
But now we have
Probably.
essentially an adult. Going back to the
Or at the very
hourglass
least, was
motif
wiped
on the
in near
mask,
extinction.
all of the sand
Didn't
here
think
is
too hard
being
about that
held
part, don't
in the
worry about it.
center of the hourglass. And that's why she gets this kind of banded symbol right in
Still
the
a
middle
dang
of
good
the
episode,
mask.
though. It's just one of
Well,
those
the
weird
other
things
thing
about
that
it.
I
Anyway,
definitely glossed over with the first design is how the arms work with this trio. This design shows it a little better, but they don't really have arms. Instead, there's kind of a ribbon that comes down from the
have, like,
underside of the mask,
capes.
wraps around their backs, and then
You're
is
going
essentially
full
an
alien with
arm
this.
on the other side. So overall,
Interesting.
silhouette-wise, I want them to look like they're holding a mask up to their face and then have a free thematic hand as well. In this case, what was a torch for Promisty is now a sword of justice. She will, smite you down if you go breaking any rules. And that brings us to the typing. Now, I know that we just recently got a fairy and fighting
That's what I
type in
meant for
Scarlet
teeny.
and Violet, but when I was
did?
initially making this
Okay.
trio, that typing wasn't covered yet. So, yeah, we're doing fairy and fighting.
hey, that's fine. Now
And
we have
I think
two.
the fighting type works really well for, the law and order part. Kind of like the Swords of Justice.
Star Eater was the
All
only
right.
level 11
Let's meet our
synchro
second of
until the
trio.
frickin' Mayakashi one
Here is
came along.
Themisti.
I know around the
Order Pokemon.
Mayakashi one. I
This
just
stoic
need a
Pokemon
pad while I
has
remember
been
the thing's
glimpsed
name.
throughout the ages whenever a civilization is on the brink of collapse.
It looks a bit like a
The
Dratini
Misty
in
was
a way.
often able to
Don't tell me
inspire
you can't see
humans
it.
to maintain control and order, though its means were often cold and calculated. It has returned to the Palean region in hopes of assisting its mysterious creator, and its ability is steadfast, so that raises the speed stat each time the Pokemon flinches.
Cool design.
Pretty kick butt.
I like it.
And I like that this trio feels, kind of like the Lake Guardians a bit, but if they had a little more personality.
I guess. Yeah.
You catch it because,
And a bit like the Rock
you're awesome,
waifu.
and you hightail
You
it
catch it
to
because
Route
you're
13.
awesome.
Passing through this final
I
gate,
like that.
you find a beautiful little lagoon. Wild Sailil, Sliscale, and Spinosaur are splashing about in the water and just waiting for you to catch them. In addition to them, you find the very last legendary shard. Very cool.
Mhm.
You could rush back to the Centozone lab and hand them off to Grant,
But not
you
yet.
know that there's gotta be a final trio member here.
After the
And
first
sure
two, you're gonna be
enough,
like,
you
I
find
know
it
there's a third
standing
one
on a
here.
rock,
I'm not
staring
dumb.
out to sea. As you approach, you see that it is scratching markings into a stone.
It's
It
strong.
seems that this was the Pokemon that was leaving all of those
Oh.
pictographic records all over the Palean region.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Downfall of civilization
Whoa,
time. How
what the
pleasant,
heck?
am I right?
Oh, that's
So,
always a great sign.
who are we
Civilization
going
comes to an
be
end.
dealing with here? Well, this is a lesser-known Greek god, Garrus. He is the Greek god of old age, and honestly, he's probably the least important inspiration. I mean,
think I've heard
yeah,
of him,
we want the
but
design
yeah.
to look elderly.
It's mostly because of
Like
Percy
the last
Jackson,
of the
which goes
sand
into
is
all of
rushing
the
out
gods,
the
even the
hourglass.
minor ones.
In fact, right off the
But
bat,
the minor
you
ones
just
are
look at
still
the maps.
gods,
Just having the
not
sand
as strong as the
down at
majors,
the
of
bottom
course.
the hourglass, and it's kind of pouring out and becoming this wonderful old man beard. We're also tweaking the pose again. Things get nice and hunched over, and what was previously a torch and a sword is now a cane. I actually initially thought that I would do a play on the,
I'm
what
glad you don't
animals
have that
on
thing
4
between the legs and
two
like in the
legs,
artwork
then
does.
three riddle, but I just couldn't
Oh,
think of a good
Pokemon
way
would
to
never
put
allow
Misty
that.
on all fours, so that got thrown out pretty quick. But I knew that I wanted this final member to have a cute
They
little
might have had a
cane.
few adult
And
moments,
with
but
this
they might
pose
did
and
you
its
know.
short little legs, it ended
There's
up
a
being
line.
the most grounded of the three.
Mm.
Speaking of being grounded, you know what other typing hasn't been paired with fairy yet?
Fairy
Yep,
ground.
Yep, it's the ground type. Now this
This is a cool
connection
design. I think
is
this
maybe
was
not
my-
as
I don't know, but
strong as the
Prometheus
other
puts
two,
up a good
but
vibe.
the
I like
hourglass
it.
imagery, along with things crumbling to dust, are enough for me to justify the fairy and ground type. A few splotchy markings on the body help tie the typing in a little bit too, and these colors are pretty intentionally muted, being like a faded old man, but they work for the ground type too. All right, let's wrap up our trio with Grimisty, the downfall Pokemon. Sightings of
Ominous.
this contemplative Pokemon are often interpreted as a sign of approaching ruin. While Grimisty often accompanies the downfall of a civilization,
This thing
it
be
also
like, I think
encourages the
Absol's the problem.
documentation and
Hold my
passing down of knowledge.
Pokemon Snap Beer.
Strange
Hold my lemonade.
carvings across the Palean region appear to be Grimisty recounting its past, and its ability is Aftermath, since it's the end of civilization, and that means
Makes
if
sense.
a Pokemon knocks it out, it will lose a fourth of its HP. Yeah, it's a sweet old man who lets you know that it's just all gonna come crashing down around you. So,
Promising.
of course, you catch it. Good work, you nerd. But what do you think? What do you think of Grimisty, Thimisty, and Promisty? Which one of them is your favorite? I would love
Probably
to hear
Promisty,
your thoughts
but
about
that's
this
'cause I like
legendary trio
Prometheus.
down in the comments below.
The Grimisty
You've
does have a
got
cool
all of the
design.
legendary shards that you need to return to Grant.
The
in
middle one
Underwater
isn't
Lab,
bad, it's
and
just
this
it
new
reminds me of
fairy-type
what
trio
you I don't
should
know.
be able to wake the dormant legendary in Ginkgo's
And hopefully
office.
not the regular
But
legendary.
You'll have to take care of
I'm
that
by
in the
legend
next episode.
But
But
regular, I
before we
mean
go,
the
just
destructive
another
one.
reminder, I'll be having my very first live stream tomorrow.
I missed it,
Saturday,
Froopy. I'm
February
sorry.
4th
I
at
probably
noon
would have checked in if I
Central
could,
Time.
but
So I hope you see you there for a Q&A.
I don't really check out live
Alrighty,
streams.
thank you
unless
so
I
much for
care.
watching,
I
and
don't know.
please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed
This
the
is
video.
cool. I like that you could also
we'll
find
be meeting
the,
the two
again,
box
the-
legendaries in the next episode, so let me know if you have any guesses as to what they could be.
It's a mystery.
Alright, see you later,
Um,
nerds.
Shut up. It's a good one. I do like the fact that you can find the starters like in the wild again. Like again, if you're gonna put it anywhere in the game, which I guess post game would be fine. Like I wish you could find more of the starters in the wild in regular Pokemon games. That'd be cool. Do it, Game Freak. You're sitting on you're not sitting on money, but it would be awesome. Come on, nah. It's like It's like Pokemon following you. It's like we're not gonna do it unless you pay us. But I bought the game. Pay us more. Maybe I don't know if Scarlet and Violet did that, but. I don't think just added. Don't, James. You're gonna go on a wild goose chase. Anyway, yeah, this was cool to check out the 18 blocks. Like, this is a good place to put this stuff. Like, I like that thinking ahead. Just like that just drive me crazy. Like, I want them now. And the three legendaries signify the end times. Why did the god of creation have to signify that? It's like, I guess it's to show the cycle of life, Just to show that while we all will be born one day, we're all gonna die one day too. Don't remind me. I don't like thinking of that stuff. Oy. It's kind of like remind me of a freaking, I think it was a Taka quote or something like that, where just like, 1 second you don't exist, the next you do, and now you don't want to stop living. It's 1 second you're not there, the next second you have anxiety. But anyway, yeah. These were cool designs for the legendaries, or mythicals, I guess they would be, but still, they were really cool designs. I like that they kind of went a bit more alien with it in a way, just like these signify the end times from another race or something like that, or the progenitors or something like that. It is cool to check out, and they're cool designs and all that jazz. I like the idea from Prometheus to Grimsday, or the end times. The middle one was fine, it wasn't bad, it was just like the other two, I guess, were just better, and plus, I don't know. I guess I didn't like the fact they could just see a Dratini. But maybe, again, people are going to watch it and be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dratini? Or no, maybe one will be like, I knew it, I'm not crazy! I don't know. I can't tell. But, yeah. Cool designs, go check out, and hopefully they don't accidentally wake up the Extinction God, like they probably will, let's be real here, they probably will. We're not going to get to the end of this and not show off the 150th Pokemon, are you crazy? Even has to be behind DLC. Also, yeah, the DLC Pokemon will not count to my final Pokemon team, because obviously I haven't seen it yet, and that would be cheating if I did. So, yeah. Maybe I might, like, say at the end of the team display, like, at the end of the series, I'd be like, hey, I'd add you to the party, and you're the party. Okay, bye. But, yeah. Other than that, yeah, cool design, cool designs, cool stuff to check out. I like the little backstory about where the cave paintings came from. I like how this one's a bit more historical, because, like, I don't know. I like seeing new Pokemon, that's always going to be true, but I also like hearing stories, so, yeah. It's what human civilization have been doing for years. Tell me a story. People like stories. But, yeah. Not much else to say, really. Just cool stuff to check out. And I really like the, yeah. I like that the thing's been telling where the cave paint's been coming from. It's like he's been leaving us breadcrumbs so we're gonna find him. In a way. But hopefully him drawing it doesn't mean the end times are near, because remember, that's his job. Maybe it's like leaving notes just so make sure this stuff doesn't happen again or something. Well, time to risk waking up ancient gods and meddling domains we're not supposed to. Pokemon! Where you can just do that. Alright. I don't have much else to say, so I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Later.